Good morning, friends. Welcome to Go Long, a show that focuses on local sports and faith, includes thought-provoking interviews with area coaches, players, and sports figures, unashamed Bible discussion, and the popular and entertaining WOYK scoreboard. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B.
Good morning.
Good morning, Becky B. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us because we've got a dandy with us this morning. Red Lions junior right-handed pitcher Connor Lawrence. You know the Lions are York Adams Division I champs in baseball. They shared that Division I title with the Southwestern Mustangs. They kick off their Division III 6A Big Boy Pants bracket on Monday as they take on the boys from Waynesboro. And we also have Southwestern's boys lacrosse coach Mike Ricker. Hey, how about those Stangs? They beat Ephrata in round one of boys lacrosse just this Friday, and they're going to travel to State College to take on State College on Tuesday at 6 p.m. How about that, Becky B?
Go Mustangs!
As Paul addressed believers in Rome and explained his mission in the book of Romans, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. Today, our Go Long topic is, what does the Bible say about testimony? You know, it's not easy for us to talk about our relationship with God all the time, especially with others, is it, Becky B?
Not always.
Nope. Throughout the week and during today's show, please text your prayer requests to 717-350-8591. Becky B will lead us in prayer as she does every Sunday morning as we close out our show. Alrighty, you know, it's red hot and hot. It's downtown Ollie Brown. Grab the mustard, because this is the Grand Salami of faith-based sports radio shows, brought to you by Sports Radio WOYK 98.9 FM 1350 on your AM dial. First in York and first in sports. Also, our friend Kelsey Jean at Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents. Alright then, you wanted it, you asked for it, guess what? You're going to get it. This is the WOYK scoreboard. Kick this off with high school baseball. PIAA District 3 baseball playoffs started on Friday. First, in the 6A Big Boy Pants bracket, the number 6 seeded Northeastern Bobcats with a 14-6 record and a third place finish in the York Adams Division I. Just 2 games back of Division I co-champion Southwestern and Redline. They're matched up with number 11 seed, the Penn Manor Comets in round 1. Penn Manor with an identical 14-7 record and a third place finish in the Lancaster-Lebanon Section 1 behind league champion Hempfield and second place Manheim Township, the Northeastern Bobcats, and the Penn Manor Comets in round 1.
And book this win for Penn Manor as they win over Northeastern 6-1 behind a complete game gem hurled by Braden Eckert. Eckert allowed 1 unearned run, giving up hits while whiffing 5. For the Northeastern, Ryan Wilson with a pair of base knocks. Drew Barshinger tossed 3 1/3 innings and left the game with the score knotted up at 1.
Alrighty, here's a look at those 6A brackets in PIAA District 3. So, the Lions are going to match up on Monday against Waynesboro. We talked about that. Redline with a 17-3 overall record. They're going to take on Waynesboro, the number 7 seed. Waynesboro with a 14-5 record. That game is going to take place at historic Horn Field in Redline. Just in case you're wondering, the number 1 seed in AAA is Cedar Cliff. How about that? Mm-hmm. They're going to play the Ephrata Mountaineers Cedar Cliff on Monday, 4:30 at Cedar Cliff High School.
And the District 5A District 3 playoffs also kicked off on Friday with the number 4 seeded Southwestern Mustangs playing host to the number 13 seeded West York Bulldogs. Southwestern's coming into the playoffs sporting a 17-3 record and a share of the York Adams Division I crown. West York was coming in with a 13-7 record and a second place finish in York Adams Division III, 2 games back of Bermudian Springs.
In the bottom of the third, Southwestern's 6'2" senior Colby Beeling Billing stepped up to the plate with the bases jacked. He went corral for a grand salami. Billing slam led to a 10-run third inning as the Stangs go on to win 11-1 over the Dogtown Boys on Friday afternoon. How about that, Jack?
All right, go Colby. Southwestern will now match up with number 12 seeded Lampeter Stroudsburg on Monday at 4:30 at the Southwestern Corral. The Lampeter Stroudsburg Pioneers finished with a 15-8 overall record and were second in the Lancaster Lebanon League Section 2, one game back of the Ephrata Mountaineers.
Absolutely. For Southwestern, Colby Billing completed his day at the office with 3 base hits and 5 ribbies. Aiden McMillan with a pair of knocks. Cade Baumgardner also with a pair of hits. MJ Vatero with 2 hits for the Dogtown Boys of West York as they finished their season with a 13-8 record. Here's what Coach Resitor said about his team just a couple of weeks ago.
They don't falter. They're not scared. They play hard. They don't count themselves out. A lot of times you get young guys who are nervous. Not that our guys aren't nervous. Everybody gets nervous. But, they just play. They compete. And, they're just having fun. And a lot of times young guys press a little bit. And not that our guys, again, not that we're not pressing at times, but they just go out and play. And, that's just kind of the leadership. And, we got guys that don't play. That they play Kennedy on a great game. We battle back, and we're down to 2 outs, or we're down a run, and they just don't give in. A couple guys get on base, get a couple big hits, and it's just kind of that whole mindset of compete, grind, and just kind of keep playing and don't count yourself out. And that's just part of experience. And we've got guys that have been on the varsity team for multiple years, and they just have been in that situation before, and we're making the most of it.
All right, Coach Resitor, guess what? Those Stangs are making the most of that, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. Yes.
Quick look, 5A bracket in District 3 baseball. The Stangs of Southwestern, winners over West York. They're now going to take on Lampeter Stroudsburg on Monday. Lampeter Stroudsburg 14-7. That game will take place at the Corral in Southwestern. Also in boys 4A baseball, the Bermudian Springs Eagles have the number 1 is the loneliest number seed. They're going to match up with Elko. Elko is 12-9. Bermudian Springs 17-2. Bermudian Springs unbeaten in the York Adams League. That game will take place on Monday at Bermudian Springs as well. Becky B, I got to mention, your Fleetwood Tigers are going to match up with Northern Lebanon. Fleetwood 12-7 overall, the number 6 seed, going to take on Northern Lebanon. Northern Lebanon, 18-2, Becky B.
Yeah, not bad. Right, in that District 3 baseball 4A, the 9th seeded Kennerdale Rams were shut out by that Elko team, who was the 8th seed, losing by a score of 6-0. For Elko, senior right-hander Morgan Shanahan tossed a one-hitter with just a pair of free passes for the Raiders. And Elko will now face the top-seeded York Adams Division 3 Bermudian Springs on Monday, like you said, Wayne. All right, and let's take a look at the 3A, 2A, and single A baseball brackets.
How about those boys from the Apple Cap of the world? They're going to be the 5th seed in the 3A bracket. They'll take on Anvil Cleona on Monday. The winner of that game is going to take on number 1 seed, Camp Hill. Then in Double A, DeLone Catholic has the number 2 seed. That game will be on Monday as they take on the Newport. Becky, you know what the Newport High School's, what their mascot is?
I don't know what the Newport
they're the Buffaloes.
Okay.
So the Squires and the Buffaloes at DeLone Catholic High School in McSherrystown Monday, the number 2 seed matching up with the number 3 seed. Alrighty. Single A, the Christian School of York, the Crusaders have the number 3 seed. They have an 11-4 record. They're going to play Monday against Mount Calvary Christian at the Net in Palmyra, 7 p.m., a night game for the Christian School of York. All right, that's a look at those boys' baseball brackets. Good luck to those York Adams team.
And the PIAA District 3 Softball Championship Tournament kicks off on Monday. Let's take a quick look at some of the York Adams teams in the tournament. In the 6A brackets, Central York is the number 9th seed. They will take on number 8th seed, Penn Manor at Penn Manor Middle School. Red Lion ended up in the 12th seed and will take on number 5 Warwick at Warwick High School. Northeastern, the number 10 seed, will meet up with Carlisle, the number 7th seed, for the first round. In this 5A bracket, Wow, those Southwestern Mustangs, they're rated number 1. What do you have to say about Southwestern?
Well, here is Kinley Proper. I think, was it last week or the week before, Becky?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Here's what she said about those Stangs.
So I'd say the biggest leader on our team right now is Jada Kuntz, who's our pitcher, and she's hands down one of the best pitchers I've seen ever. And not just is she a good pitcher, a good player, but she's an awesome person. And she's younger than me, but she still inspires me. And she, just like her confidence on the mound, and she'll be the first, like she pitches like no hitters all the time, but she never takes the credit. Like she always gives it to everybody else, like for making plays, and it's just so like honorable because it's like she's in control of everything, but yet she still gives the like recognition to everybody else, which I think is amazing. And I'd also say our seniors, Riley Crow and Emma Vaney and myself, like last year I wouldn't say we had the greatest leadership on the team, and this year I think all three of us have really stepped up to the plate to, like, although we're seniors, we still, we don't treat anybody differently. We're all there together, and everybody has their part, so I think that's really important.
All right, thank you, Kinsley Proper. How about those Stangs in the girls softball 5A bracket? I think they have a chance, I believe, to take it all. What do you think?
I would love to see it happen.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they do.
Okay, and then also in 5A, number 13, Susquehannock will take on number 4, Mechanicsburg, and number 11, New Oxford, will take on number 6, Exeter Township. We're looking at the 4A bracket, Kennerdale got a first round bye because they're the number 3 seed and they'll take on the number 5 seed. They'll take on number 4 seed Elko on the quarterfinals on Thursday, May 23rd. In the 3A bracket, Littlestown is the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on Annville Cleona, and Biggerville, the number 1 seed there, got a first round bye too. So they will take on the winner of that Littlestown and Annville Cleona. In the 2A bracket, DeLone Catholic will meet up with Fairfield right away. And there are only 4 teams in that bracket. DeLone is ranked number 1, Fairfield number 4, and there's nobody from our area in the Class 1A because there's only 2 teams in 1A, and both of them are going to the playoffs, aren't they?
Yeah, thanks for giving a good look at that girls softball District 3 playoff action. Becky B, Friday and Saturday this weekend was the track and field District 3 championships held at Shippensburg. I think you have a lot to tell us about.
Oh man, the York Adams League was so well represented. In the 3A boys, Ladanian Strasburg broke the Red Lion record, set his own school record. He ended up in 4th place and a state qualifier in the 100-yard dash. Look his name in the 200-yard dash and the states again as he ended up 3rd. In the 400, we got a winner! Brennan Holmes from New Oxford, a state qualifier also, and the winner of the 400 meters. In the 1600, Daniel Naylor from Red Lion ended up in 5th and also qualified for states. In the 300-meter hurdles, Brody Allen from Kennerdale was in 7th place. The 4x100 relay and a state qualifier, 4th place, Dallastown, with the team of Gabe Hannon, Christian Rodriguez, Michael Scott, and Christopher Camardi. The high jump, Braden Billman from New Oxford tied for 3rd and then went on to win this triple jump with a state qualifying jump of 45 feet. Eli Steele from York Tech ended up 3rd. In the pole vault, 5th place, Josh Arnold from Central York. The long jump, Michael Scott from Dallastown, we've heard that name before, is a state qualifier in 3rd place. And in 6th place, Gage Smellion from Southwestern.
Let me tell you a little bit about Michael Scott from Dallastown. 3rd place finish in the long jump yesterday, right? 22 feet 11 inches. The winner was 23 feet 9 inches. You know, I remember back in my high school years. Now, that's way back, obviously, but when Scott Fiske broke the 20-foot barrier, Scott Fiske from Redline,
yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Michael Scott has 12 Division I football offers as a wide receiver already.
And he's only a junior.
He's only a junior. From Maryland, Pitt, Temple, West Virginia, Cincinnati, Boston College, Kentucky. 12 Division I offers. The dude can run. He can jump. He's going to play Division I football also. Michael Scott from Dallastown, third place finish yesterday in the long jump.
Alrighty, and the discus from York Tech, Pierce Aing ended up in 5th place. The javelin, we've got a winner, Jackson Hirsch from Southwestern, a state qualifying throw of 185 feet 2 inches, and New Oxford ended up in 9th place as the team. Our 3A girls were so well represented, starting off the meet in 1st place in both the 100 and the 200 is Layla Campbell from Spring Grove. She did not beat her district record in both of those, but she still won both of them. She's an LSU commit and state qualifying times in both. In the 800, Dallastown will send Natalie Good, a 4th place finisher, to the states to qualify. In the 3200, Caden Stange from Eastern York is a state qualifier and ended up 7th. The 100-meter hurdles, we have a winner. Ella Bond from Spring Grove won that. And she also won the 300 meters, and she also won the high jump with a 5-foot 6-inch jump, all state qualifying things. She was also part of the 4th place 4x100 relay that finished with a state qualifying time. Those members were Layla Campbell, Ella Bond, Lily Potts, and Lillian Myers. In the 4x800 relay, Dallastown's team of Addison Emmerheiser, Morgan Good, Neela Granger, and Natalie Good ended up in 3rd place with a state qualifying time. 6th place in the long jump, Ava Metzler from Northeastern, and Spring Grove placed 2nd place as a team. Congratulations to the team from Spring Grove. In the boys 3A, the 4x100 team from DeLone of Max Holtz, John Paul Groves, Nolan Cruz, and Braden Smith ended up in 4th place. The high jump, Bearson Zellinger from Biglerville was in 4th place. And in the girls 2A, in the 800-meter run, Samantha Bielmer from DeLone was 5th. In the 100-meter hurdles, Emma Byrne, also from DeLone, was 6th. The 4x100 relay from Littlestown ended up in 3rd place. That team was comprised of Miranda King, Emmy Nonamaker, Benedict Parter, and Bailey Dickens. The 4x400 relay from Bermudian ended up in 3rd place. Eliza Staub, Vanessa Valtercatera, Autumn Geisler, and Emma Gunner were the 3rd place finishers. And the pole vault, setting a D3 record of 13 feet, beating the old record by an entire foot. Liliana Carlson from Bermudian Springs. The triple jump was won by her teammate, Allison Watts, with a state qualifying jump as well. In 3rd place, Patience King from Biglerville in the shot put, and in 5th place in the shot, Molly Kuntz from Bermudian. The discus from Bermudian, Elaine Cook, was in 5th place, and the javelin from DeLone, Caitlin Schwartz, took a 6th place finish. You heard Bermudian a lot of times, and their team ended up in 5th place. Congratulations,
wow,
ladies.
Thank you, Becky B. All those District 3 York Adams winners in the track and field event taking place at Shippensburg just this weekend. Well done, Becky B. All right, hey, let's move on to boys lacrosse. Earlier this week, the Central York Panthers took the York Adams League Championship with a hard-fought 8-7 win over the Dallastown Wildcats. This is the 5th consecutive York Adams Boys Lacrosse Championship for Central York. For the Panthers, Mitchell Myers and Anthony Basile led with 3 goals each, and freshman goalie Jonas Dahl with 9 saves.
District 3 3A boys lacrosse also kicked off on Friday evening as the 5th-seeded Central York Panthers knocked out Mid-Penn's Cumberland Valley by a score of 12-7. Cumberland Valley entered the tournament as the number 12 seed. For the Panthers, sophomore A.J. Basile found the back of the net 4 times, and freshman goalie Jonas Dahl booked 7 saves in the win. Central York will match up with number 4-seeded Hempfield on Tuesday in the quarterfinals. The Black Knights with a 12-4 record out of that Lancaster-Lebanon League.
Also in District 3 3A boys lacrosse, the Southwestern Mustangs win with a 17-3 record, took care of business with a 16-10 win over the Ephrata Mountaineers. Junior Cole Denninger led the Stangs with 4 goals. He also handed out 4 dimes. They will match up with 2nd-seeded State College on Tuesday. We'll hear more about that in just a bit.
Still in District 3 3A boys lacrosse action, the Dallastown Wildcats were eliminated by the Conestoga Valley Buckskins 15-6. The Wild Things completed their outstanding season with a 16-4 record. Moving on to District 3 2A. First round of boys lacrosse, the number 9 Wyomissing Spartans win over the New Oxford Colonials 15-8. The Circletown boys finished their season with a 10-8 record. And the number 7 seeded Lower Dauphin with a win over the boys from the Rock, the Susquehanna Warriors, by a score of 9-4. The Warriors were the number 10 seed and finished their season with a 10-7 record.
The Palmyra Cougars with a 13-5 record, and the number 6 seed pounded number 11 seed Kennedale 11-4. The Fawn Grove boys now finish their season with a 10-7 record.
And the number 5 seeded Cocalico Golden Knights tattooed the number 12 seeded Eastern York Golden Knights with a score of 14-1. Ben Lippy with the 1 is the loneliest number goal for the Golden Boys as they finish their season with a 10-9 record. In girls lacrosse early this week in the York Adams Girls Championship game, the Dallastown Wildcats win over the York Catholic Fighting Irish 10-9 in overtime. For the Wild Things, Jordan Markey and Emma Alex each with a pair of goals. Katie Bullen led the Irish with 5 goals. And just so you know, this is the first ever girls lacrosse league championship for Dallastown.
Moving on to girls lacrosse in District 3 playoff action from Friday. First in the 3A bracket, the number 5 seeded Red Line Lions win big over number 12 seeded Southwestern 18-3. Aunt Nellie was there. Haley Hayes with 8 goals for the Lions, and Mackenzie Shrake made her 100th career save in the net for the Lions.
On Thursday, number 8 seeded State College Little Lions won in overtime over the 9th seeded New Oxford Colonials 15-14. For State College, Ella Tromboli found the back of the net in the sudden death overtime win to lead State College. For the Circletown girls of New Oxford, Cameron Coey pounded the net for 7 goals, and Sydney Wingpigler netted 5 goals and handed out 3 assists.
In District 3 2A girls lacrosse, the 8th seeded Lampeter Stroudsburg Pioneers won easily over number 9 seeded the Kennedale Rams 16-4. Sophia Laberkick led Lampeter with 5 goals and 5 assists.
In boys tennis action on Tuesday afternoon, the Dallastown Wildcats boys tennis team fell in the state playoffs to District 1 Central Bucks East in a hard-fought 3-2 score at the Hershey Racket Club. For the Wild Things juniors, Hayden Coons and Jacob Horn each with the singles win for the District 3 champions.
All right, now what a season for Coach Coons and the Dallastown Wildcats boys tennis squad is. They won. You ready? Their 8th consecutive York Adams Division I championship and their 3rd championship consecutive of District 3 3A. And guess what? You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Their 7-player team featured 4 juniors and 3 sophomores.
Watch out! Look what's coming next year. But
Wow.
you know, you can't be disappointed when you're in the state playoffs.
No, but
Yes.
they got a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely. Earlier this week in boys volleyball, the Central York Panthers captured the York Adams League Boys Volleyball Championship with a 3-0 shutout win over the Dallastown Wildcats. For Central York, Christian Bucks booked 12 kills and 4 digs, and Lance Schaefer handed out 39 assists. Patrick Seward with 10 kills, and John He with 8 kills and 7 digs.
All right, now last week we were talking with Coach Coons of Dallastown. You remember that?
I remember Coach
And
Coons from Dallastown.
Obviously, we're talking about his great
No, wait,
high school team.
You're talking about tennis here.
Tennis.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
boys
okay.
tennis.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you. Yesterday, the Wake Forest team, his oldest son, Holden Coons, playing for Wake Forest. They were in the Final 8 earlier this week. They beat they beat Virginia earlier this week in the Final 8 NCAA Division I. Holden Coons won both a singles and in a doubles match, won both of those earlier this week in the Final 8. Yesterday, Wake Forest, and again, Holden Coons from Dallastown, playing in the Final 4. This is NCAA Division I.
Final 4, that's like the big time.
It's not like the big time.
It is the big time,
It
yeah.
is the big time. They matched up with the Texas Longhorns yesterday. That game was on ESPN. I should say that match. Unfortunately, Wake Forest lost to Texas yesterday. Now, Holden Coons participated again in doubles and singles, lost in the doubles match. He was actually leading in the singles match where they just stopped it because at that point Texas had won the match.
Oh, okay.
So they don't finish it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Holden Coons of Dallastown, just look at his career a little bit. 2022 CAA Player of the Year as he played for James Madison, then transferred then to Wake Forest as a graduate student. First time All CAA. Rookie of the Year in the CAA. First team All Singles CAA. First team All Doubles in the CAA. This is the Colonial Athletic Conference. First team All Sun Belt Singles. And he is a scholar athlete. How about that?
Wow, that's racking it up, isn't it?
That's a good way to put it, racking it up.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
All right, hey, congratulations, Holden Coons, Dallastown graduate, and played in the Final Four, Division I, in tennis, featured on ESPN yesterday. All right, the Lancaster Stormers scored early and often against the York Revolution last night, handing the Rebs their first war. The Roses' loss of the year. Score was 13-2 in a game held at Clipper Magazine Stadium in Lancaster. That comes after York started their season series with Lancaster. They were 4-0 prior to that loss. It also snaps York's 4-game road winning streak. The Rebs are now 8-3 on the road, 12-9 overall, just 2 games back behind Staten Island for first place in the North Division of the Atlantic League. Lefty Will Stewart toes the mound for the rubber match today at 3 p.m. Lancaster starter is not announced yet. York fans, you can catch the action. Guess where? Here on Sports Radio 98.9 FM, 1350 WOYK. You can also catch it on the new WOYK app, flowbaseball.tv, beginning at 2:40. The best there is, Daryl Henry, will have that play-by-play call. Alrighty, friends, it's time. Talking about baseball, it's time to go long. Today, what does the Bible say about testimony? You know, when I think about testimony, and I mentioned that because this week, and there's been a couple times this week, I had the opportunity to, people say, gosh, you're always so positive, those kind of things. And just an opportunity to say where that comes from. It doesn't have to be a long discussion, right? Mm-hmm. But I say, I get that from my relationship with God. So a couple times this week I had that opportunity. It made me think, well, let's talk a little bit about testimony and the opportunities we have. And let's read a few verses from the Bible first. From the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 39. Return to your home and declare how much God has done for you. And he went away proclaiming throughout the whole city how much Jesus had done for him. From the book of Psalms, chapter 66, verse 16. Come and hear, all you who fear God, and I will tell you what he has done for my soul. From the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 32. So everyone who acknowledges me before men, I also will acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. From 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. But in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you, yet do it with gentleness and respect. So the verses today talked about when you do it, how you do it. I love that, with gentleness and respect, right? Mm-hmm. But it's so important, if you fear our God, tell others what he has done for our souls. And that's really what it's all about, right? What that feeling that we have, that soulful feeling that we have. Becky B., I want you to hear your thoughts.
Well, it is so easy to talk about your relationship with God and Jesus with fellow believers. When you know somebody is feeling the like way as you are. I think it's so much harder when you aren't entirely sure, and it shouldn't be that way. But I find it harder to have the confidence to reach out and to provide testimony to people who I don't really know their feelings as much. Yeah. I think some of that comes from people who are looked at as kind of lunatics or whatever. But to be bold and to share our testimony, because really that's the basis of our life, and the basis of our faith is to share the gospel of God as well.
No, I love It's the book of Luke, chapter 8. Return to your home and declare how much God has done for you. And I mean, it's telling us, in our own house, right?
Yes. Well, and not just in our own house, but in our communities as well. I think when they said return to your home, they meant not just your home, but your home area.
No, absolutely. No, that speaks to me as well. Just a quick story. We think, well, I'm not a good speaker, or I'm not good in front of people, or I'm not, like you said, I feel uncomfortable, especially when I'm speaking with others, perhaps unbelievers or people maybe sitting on the fence. And it reminds me of a story when I told this story 2 years ago when I was a player in baseball, and our team was in Sanford, Florida at the old New York Giants training camp. And we're driving down the road, and we're past a guy dressed as a clown out on the curb at the old Sanford, not the old, it's still there, the Sanford Baptist Church, dressed as a clown. And we rolled down the window, and some guys were yelling stuff out at him, like, what are you doing? And the guy said, well, we're having a revival tonight, come on in. So because some guy dressed as a clown out by the curb, the baseball team goes in because we had free dinner, right? That's the real reason.
Yeah, you wanted to save a couple bucks so that you could probably spend it somewhere else.
At the dog races, actually.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
All right, well, that's not part of the story. But anyway, but that night there were 3 young men that went up and professed, their commitment to our God at that revival. And I think, when you talk about testimony, and gosh, I'm not sure I'm a speaker. Well, this guy dressed as a clown and stood out on the curb and just to get people's attention so they would come in. And that guy probably has no idea the impact he had on these 3 young men, right?
Probably not. Well,
no idea.
Actually, 2 of them became pastors, didn't they?
Absolutely, yes. So at any rate, the impact we have, it doesn't necessarily have to be the spoken word. It can be just how we handle ourselves and things that we do for others, and maybe that'll make somebody ask, where does that come from, right? Where does that come from?
Well, actually, kind of the same thing happened to me a couple years back. We had applied for getting a business loan, and when it came time to sign for those loans, we were supposed to close, and something happened up with the bank, and unfortunately they called us and said, those documents aren't going to be here by tomorrow, by closing. We're sorry, there was a mistake made. And I know that you handled it so much with grace and said, these things happen, let us make some calls on our end, and we'll see what we can do. And when I went in then the next week to pick up the check for the home and to take care of it, the loan manager looked at me and said, I have never had anybody have the kind of grace that you had when I had to tell you, we don't have your check. I can't give it to you until Monday. Your husband was just so kind when he handled it. And I said, well, as Christians, we realize that sometimes these things happen, and God calls for us to, give grace and mercy to others. And the loan officer just was so appreciative of your reaction, Wayne. So,
interesting. Always be prepared. Always be prepared to make a defense to anyone who ask you for the reason for your hope, that it is in you, yet do it with gentleness and respect. All right, my friends, we'll be right back with Redline's right-hander. Wow, he can pitch, he can play the infield, he can pick up a stick in the middle of the night and go ahead and get a base hit. We're going to talk with Connor Lawrence from Redline. They match up at historic Horn Field on Monday.
Moonfield? Where did that come from?
All righty, after we hear from I don't know where that came from our sponsors, Red Barn Home Decor, right after this.
Hey WOIK listeners, Daryl Henry here with Kelsey McCullough, Kylie Taylor, the owners of Red Barn Home Decors. Kelsey, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So Kylie and I bring in our furniture and decor to either a vacant or occupied home, and we allow buyers to create emotional connections with the home by envisioning their family in that space. Doing that allows the buyer to get top dollar for their listing and also sell it in the fastest amount of time.
Kylie, tell us about the benefits of Red Barn in particular.
Home staging is very important in the selling process. It really makes sure that your home sells in the quickest amount of time and for the top dollar. Some of our statistics here are homes sell in an average of 4.5 days and for over $16,000 over asking.
Kelsey, how would folks get in touch with Red Barn?
Please feel free to check out our portfolio at www.redbarnhomedecors.com. You can also check out our social media pages at Red Barn Home Decors or give us a call at 717-818-1207.
Red Barn Home Decors. Staging makes dollars and cents.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield creeps in again.
The sounds of summer play here.
It's through! It's a base hit! Stott scores! Marsh being waved home! He's gonna score! And the Phillies have just won it! Trey Turner plays the hero for the Phils.
Catch Phillies baseball right here on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK, York.
And welcome back to Go Long. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B. With us right now from Redline, Connor Lawrence. Wow, Connor, what a great season the Redline Lions have had. The 17-3 record, the number 2 seed in District 3 Big Boy Pants 6A bracket. Shared the Division I York Adams Marbles with Southwestern. Connor Lawrence with us right now. Connor, thanks for being with us. How you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. First of all, Connor, you're just a great young man, and I know you represent student athletes just in everything that's right about a student athlete. Tell us a little bit about yourself first and things that you like to do, including sports and then off the field as well.
First of all, thank you. I appreciate that. I really enjoy spending valuable time with friends and family. That's a really important thing for me. I've really been working to try to find a balance between that and baseball over the past year. I think that, and just a big thing for me is I enjoy experiences in life and going places, traveling places, and that's always something I look forward to in the summer.
Well, Connor, isn't it kind of tough to separate the time with family and friends and time with baseball when your father is the baseball coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different than most people have it, that's for sure. I think our relationship on the field is much different, obviously more focused on what's happening there. So I think it's always nice to be able to spend time with him off the field as well, because it's just kind of a different dynamic, more of a laid-back approach when we're not on the field.
Now, Connor, I know you pitch, you play the infield, you're an outstanding hitter. You play the game fundamentally well in all aspects of the game. What's your favorite position? Do you prefer pitching? Do you prefer the infield? Tell us a little bit about your game.
I think I really like both of them, but I definitely enjoy pitching the most because I feel like I'm kind of like in control. Like it's kind of everything's right in front of me.
And you're involved in every single play of the game if you're a pitcher. You started off.
That is correct.
Now, how about the pressure? How do you handle the pressure when you're pitching?
I think a big thing for me is just trust that the work that I've done in the off season, the work that I've done in preparation for the game, knowing how to approach each hitter. I think that is how I deal with it. Just trusting myself that what I've done is good enough. And even when you do everything right, there's still in baseball a pretty solid chance that things don't go your way. So just understanding that is a possibility, and I think just trust is the biggest thing for me.
Well, and you probably have a lot of trust in the teammates that you have handling the job behind you and your catcher as well. The Redline Lions have had a very successful year. You want to tell us a little bit about the dynamic as a team leader? What kind of things do you do to lead the team?
Honestly, it's pretty easy so far for us. I mean, we have a really good group of guys that all care about one thing, and that's the most important thing for us. It's we all have one goal in mind, and that's to win. We don't care. Nobody cares about what opportunities they're getting. Sure, everybody wants to play every inning of every game, Who doesn't? But with that being said, everybody is in the dugout. If they're not playing, they're cheering on their teammates. They have great energy. They're focused on the other team, trying to pick up things that'll help the team win. And that's something that not every team can say they have. So I think that's the biggest thing for us this year. And just going back to trust, I mean, guys just trust each other. Like, when a guy gets up on the mound this year, they have trust that the guys behind him are going to make all the plays. It's just, we have a really close group of guys, and we really trust each other and get along quite well.
We're speaking with Connor Lawrence, Red Line Lions. What a great season. They're going to match up Monday against Waynesboro at historic Hornfield and Red Line. Connor, I don't say that lightly. When I say historic Hornfield, some of the players that have preceded you, the Butch Weinigers and Scott Fitzkes and Bobby Orwigs, and the list goes on and on and on of great Red Line baseball players. And does that mean anything to you and your team? Is it, when you step on that field, does it just feel different when you're playing at home?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a pretty neat setup compared to most places, and I think the history behind it and the crowds that we get there are pretty impressive, and things that not many teams can say they get. So when we get on the field, we play with confidence, and I think we'll definitely be ready tomorrow. That's for sure.
Now, can you picture Hornfield? Now, I played there in the 70s, okay, so I'm an old guy, but can you picture Hornfield without an outfield fence?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, the concrete facade of the bleachers that are built into the hill there, it's got to be well over 400 feet out there in left center field, right? And I remember one time Bobby Orwig went on to play at Penn State. He hit a double off that concrete wall out there in those bleachers. It came flying back. He was held to a double.
In the Major League ballpark, that'll be out of the park. Yeah.
It's good. Wow. Tell us, Connor. Tell us a little bit about your team. What would somebody not know about this year's Red Line Lions?
I think it's got to be that the success we're having has not been an accident. I think the thing that has set us apart this year, apart from how close the team is just the amount of work that we put in the off season and the amount of focus that we have to detail. I think that's a big thing, especially when you get into the postseason. And I think that also goes back to our coaching staff for sure. I mean, the strength and conditioning programs, the speed and agility programs, the constant extra swings the coaching staff is willing to help us get in the off season is huge. And then we get into the season and we're prepared with a 6 to 7 page scouting report on every team. It doesn't matter who, doesn't matter when. Every single game this year we've had a 6 to 7 page scouting report, and I think so. My point being is just that the attention to detail is so large this year, and I think that has helped to win us plenty of games.
Well, you know what? That's how you win baseball games, with attention to detail and fundamental baseball, and that's what the Red Line Lions have built themselves upon under Coach Lawrence and with players like Connor Lawrence. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the matchup with Waynesboro on Monday. Who's on the hill, and what can we look forward to here?
Well, we're going to have our senior AJ Lipscomb on the mound. That's the plan. I think if he throws well, I think we'll be fine. They haven't been phenomenal offensively this year, Waynesboro, but I mean, neither have we. So it's not like we're going out there putting up 10 runs every game. So we're going to have to do the things that we've been doing all year, and that is throwing strikes and catching the ball behind the pitcher. And I think if we do that and we come out with a good approach at the plate, I think we'll be fine. With that being said, like I said earlier, it's baseball. So we can do all those things right and still come out and lose 2-1 or 1-0 because it's postseason baseball and those things happen. So I think we're ready.
but I'm gonna give my bet to the Red Lion Lions.
Sure it is. I was going to ask Becky B. You know, we always end this with Becky B making a pick, and because she is the number one predictor of outcomes of anybody in District 3. I got to say that, Becky B. So tell us a little bit about it, Becky. Your prediction.
All right,
Here it is, Connor. You ready for this?
I have Red Lion winning at historic Hornfield, and Connor, I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think you're going to be hitting up a storm on Monday.
All righty. No pressure, right? No pressure.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm with Becky B 100%. I'm picking the Red Line Lions. They are so fundamental. They pitch well. They defend well. And you know what? You play small ball when you need to, right? You said it. You don't always put up, 10 runs and beat people on the 10-run rule, but you just consistently, every inning, every pitch, play good fundamental baseball. We're talking about the Red Line Lions. So they match up with Waynesboro Monday at Hornfield. I've got it this, Becky B. Red Line 5, Waynesboro 1.
Oh, is that
that's me. That's my pick. Alrighty. Connor, you're a wonderful young man. You're everything that's right about high school sports. Today on Go Long, we celebrate Connor Lawrence and the Red Line Lions. Connor, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. We know you had to step out of breakfast this morning, and at your age, that's big time right there when you're giving up a meal. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful morning. Thanks for being with us, Connor.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, go Lions.
All righty. Connor Lawrence, just a great young man, and from a wonderful family as well with Coach Lawrence.
Absolutely.
Just fun chat, right? All right, so Becky B, we both got Red Line in that game. All right.
We do have Red Line in that game,
All righty. Hey, who's our next interview, Becky B?
Our next interview is going to be with Mike Ricker. Mike is one of the assistant coaches at Southwestern in the men's lacrosse program, and Southwestern has come across with a young team this year, but they are doing amazing things in the lacrosse world. Ended up knotted up at the top with two other teams for the Division I champions.
Right, in the York Adams League, right?
In the York Adams League. Central and Dallastown were up there as well. For the first time this year, they beat Dallastown, which was first in the history of the program. But they are doing so well. They just beat Ephrata in the first round Friday, and now we'll be facing State College. So we're going to be talking with Mike Ricker, one of their assistant coaches.
All right, well, we'll be right back after this message from our sponsors, Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents. I'm telling you, if you have a house to sell, contact Kelsey Jean at Red Barn Home Decors. You'll hear about them in just a second.
Hey WOIK listeners, Daryl Henry here with Kelsey McCullough, Kylie Taylor, the owners of Red Barn Home Decors. Kelsey, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So Kylie and I bring in our furniture and decor to either a vacant or occupied home, and we allow buyers to create emotional connections with the home by envisioning their family in that space. Doing that allows the buyer to get top dollar for their listing and also sell it in the fastest amount of time.
Kylie, tell us about the benefits of Red Barn in particular.
Home staging is very important in the selling process. It really makes sure that your home sells in the quickest amount of time and for the top dollar. Some of our statistics here are homes sell in an average of 4.5 days and for over 16,000 over asking.
Kelsey, how would folks get in touch with Red Barn?
Please feel free to check out our portfolio at www.redbarnhomedecors.com. You can also check out our social media pages at Red Barn Home Decors or give us a call at 717-818-1207.
Red Barn Home Decors. Staging makes dollars and cents.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield creeps in again.
The sounds of summer play here.
It's through! It's a base hit! Stott scores! Marsh being waved home! He's gonna score! And the Phillies have just won it! Trey Turner plays the hero for the Phils!
Catch Phillies baseball right here on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK, York.
Coach, thanks for being with us, guys. The Stangs
sitting on top of already a 1 win in the PIAA District 3 lacrosse boys bracket. They take on State College now. The Stangs are 17-2. State College 16-1. Coach, thanks for being with us. Tell us a little bit about your team.
Hey, thanks for having me. We've had a great season. We started early March, hitting hard with practices, and then jumped right into the season. The boys have been successful. A couple bumps along the way, but they've powered through. We've talked to the team constantly about what our goals are, and the guys have powered through. We've done the best that we can as coaches, but out on the field, it's all up to how they play.
Coach, you're going to hit the road. You got to go to State College, the number 2 seed. Tell us a little bit about that matchup. Do you know anything about State College?
Well, we're doing our best to watch some film and see how they play. They're a talented team, there's no doubt. You don't get to number 2 seed without having a successful season ahead of that. Our boys are ready to play. They're coming off a great win the other night against Ephrata, a team that we knew was going to be a challenge, but turned out we were able to hand them a loss pretty early into the game, and from there kind of settled in and played our game.
All right, now, obviously you know these boys well. A lot of the boys have been playing together in youth leagues and now are coming up into Scholastic. Would you tell us a little bit about who some of your team leaders are?
Oh, we have a whole bunch. This year we have 4 captains. We're lucky that 2 of them are seniors, and they've been leaders ever since they joined the high school team. And then 2 of our captains are juniors, which it's a neat benefit for us. That means they're going to be here next year too. It's really a team that rallies behind each other. The leadership is there on the field, off the field, but it's a team that's maturing and growing together that really shows a lot of promise for this season and looking into the future.
Coach, when you look at the York Adams League, especially, the big schools, Central York, they're moving on into the semifinals. Of course, you guys are moving on to the semifinals. The competition that you face, Dallastown. Now, Dallastown lost to Conestoga Valley, but the competition that you faced in the York Adams League, I think has to have you playoff ready. What's your thoughts?
Oh, completely agree. There's a couple teams that always challenge us throughout the season that we know year after year are going to be the teams to beat. As you said, at Dallastown, they had a great season. We were able to overcome our losses to them in the past couple of years this year by beating them in the regular season. That, of course, injected a ton of energy into our team. Central were able to get the better of us this year. We'd love to see them in the future. They always kind of are that monkey on our back. We just have to overcome that. But there's a lot of talent in York County, and of course outside of here. And we look forward to seeing as many different teams as we can.
We're talking PIAA District 3 boys lacrosse. Coach, there's just some intriguing matchups. Central York going to take on Hempfield. Hempfield is just one of those programs from the LL League that is just very good year in, year out. State College, a great matchup for you, Coach. We're just looking forward to following boys lacrosse. Tell us this, Coach. What's your perspective? Lancaster Lebanon League, York Adams League, Mid-Penn. I think years ago, York Adams League was some of the class, but when you start matching up with other leagues, have the other leagues caught up? What's your thought?
I'm still relatively new to the high school game. This is only my 4th season. But I tell you, it seems like all the teams are getting better all around us. And we certainly can't relax and allow them to catch up. We've got to stay ahead of the competition and keep working year in and year out and day to day if we have to. And we're going to do our best to do so.
Now, Coach, you were saying about how your boys really rally around each other and just are so cohesive as a team. Do you have any team rituals or any team traditions that really help you to get psyched up for games?
I would say there are several. Unfortunately, I'm gonna keep that to ourselves. I think we're proud of what we do ahead of time, and I just think that's one thing where, as a team, we like to kind of keep that to ourselves. But know that there are some things that we always talk about and do just before a game, and it's worked so far for us. So I don't want to jinx anything.
Well, Coach, it's really been kind of neat to watch what's coming out of the Mustang Corral this year. Boys lacrosse is just having an awesome season. The boys baseball team's on the top of the rack. The girls softball team's on the top of the rack. What does that say about Southwestern athletics?
I think it's a message to all the teams around us. Watch out. We're developing some great athletes. We've got a district that stands behind us and supports our young student athletes, supports our coaching staff, and gives us the tools that we need to put up some positive victories.
All right, the Stags travel to State College on Tuesday night. Boys, District 3, AAA, quarterfinals, Lynn Lacrosse. Coach, good luck. We celebrate the Southwestern Mustangs. We hope you come back with a win from State College on Tuesday. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate the time.
All righty, that's Coach Ricker, Southwestern Mustangs, and boys lacrosse. Thank you, Coach. Becky B, again, every Sunday we just want to make sure all of our friends who take time to listen to us, we let them know how much we appreciate them. So thank you so much for being with us today and every Sunday morning. We value and appreciate the time that we have together. Thank you so much. So as we do every Sunday morning, Becky B will lead us in prayer as we close out our show. So Becky B, thank you, and please lead us in prayer.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you and we praise you for this time that we've had together, and we just thank you for all the many, many, many blessings that you've bestowed on us. We are so grateful for your beautiful world around us. Thank you, dear Lord, for the sunshine that's peeking out. Thank you for the cleansing rains this week and the way our earth is so green and beautiful and all those beautiful spring colors around us. We just thank you and praise you, Lord, for the many, many ways that you have bestowed your mercy and your grace on us. And we just ask you, Lord, as we go through the week, that we can be more bold and to share testimony with others who may not know you, because, Lord, we know you are the way, the truth, and the light, and the only way for us to have eternal life in you. Lord, we just ask you, please, to be with the Dixon family as their son and grandson, great-grandson, has passed and was buried this week, and we ask that you continue to give them the strength and the belief in you, and know that Dakota is now dancing with Jesus. We just ask you, Lord, to be with David as he goes through his carcinoma treatments, and ask that you bring some healing to him. We ask you, Lord, also to be with Luke, help as his leg is healing, and give him the strength that he's able to put more weight on it. Please be with Diane as she works to strengthen herself, and as she tries to recover as well. We just praise you and thank you so much, Lord, for the positive news that Lisa has been given and how she has overcome cancer, and we just praise you for that healing, Lord. Thank you so much for all the many blessings you've given us. Please be with the York Adams teams as they go into their postseasons, and help our athletes, Lord, to know that you are always with them.
In Christ's name we pray, amen. Again, throughout the week, you may text your prayer request to 717-350-8591. Today's show dedicated to Neil Klondis, who's known as a gentle giant throughout many of us in the York Adams League, who sat behind me at every basketball game I ever coached for more than a decade.
Oh,
more
yes.
More than a decade already.
Yes.
Neil Klondis.
Neil's going to be with Jesus as well this week.
Gentle giant. Alrighty, my friends, the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all. Thank you to Kelsey Jean from Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents. For Sports Radio 98.9 FM, 1350 WOYK. I'm Wayne McCullough with Becky B saying, go long.